Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier, and in my this particular video I am going to discuss how you can visualize the decision line or separation line between two classes in SVM. Okay, so in my previous video I have shown you some mathematical intuition behind the SVM algorithm. Okay, now the question is how we can visualize that. Okay, so what we have done, we have seen how we have got this particular omega, which is very important part for SVM. Okay, we have started with y equal to mx plus c. We have taken all the terms in one side and we are getting this particular one, minus of mx plus y minus c equal to 0. This particular term can be written like this. I hope you have seen this particular equation also, straight line representation equation. Okay, ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Here I have taken d, where d is representing minus c. A is representing coefficient of x, which is minus m, and b is representing coefficient of y, which is basically 1. Okay, now if you take coefficient of a and b, x and y, you will be getting basically omega. Okay, this one minus m1. But practically, when you are considering MATLAB as optimization algorithm works behind this particular SVM classifier, so obviously you will not be getting this particular omega matrix like this minus 1m. You will be getting AB form, okay, like this particular one, AB, okay. And this particular result is stored in beta parameter of the classifier. I will be showing you, no need to worry about anything. And this D term where it is stored in bias parameter, okay. So basically, if you get the beta and bias, then you can easily plot the classifier line, right? What you have to do, suppose you have this particular equation ax plus by plus d equal to 0, and for known x values you want to get y value, so that you can plot this straight line. You have to just write like this: y equal to minus of ax plus d by b, and if you just remove the bracket, you will be getting y equal to minus of a by b into x minus of d by b. Okay, and now compare this particular equation with this omega. Okay, how you will write? Suppose omega is beta. Okay, and the model, whatever you have created, the name is model. Okay, so this particular a term is model dot beta and first element, so 1. Okay, b parameter is model dot beta 2, and this d is model dot bias. Okay, put all this, you will be getting this simple equation: y equal to minus of model dot beta of 1, which is basically this a term. Minus sign don't forget to give, otherwise you will be getting long decision line. Okay, by model dot beta of 2, which is representing this b term of omega, then multiplied by x minus of d. D is what I have told you, that it is stored in bias factor, bias part of the model. Okay, so model dot bias by b, again model dot by 2. Okay, now if we have this equation, we can plot the decision boundary for our linear classifier. So let us see example cases. Okay, so first thing, I have taken one very small data set. Okay, just randomly I have created, because this is the first one which I am going to show you as the example of decision surface plotting. Just simple randomly I have taken some points. If you want, you can check in the description box, all the datasets link or directly dataset will be given, and code also. Okay, no need to worry about a single thing. So data is like this. For x and y, two independent feature, we have some class. Okay, no need to apply some outlier detection, or you can say null value removal or feature scaling. Just I am showing you for the understanding purpose how you can plot the decision boundary. Okay, so now what I will do, I have first basically applied gscatter. Okay, gscatter data dot x, data dot y, and data dot class. With respect to data dot class, we have to group by and then plot. First one is black color, then red color, so KR. Okay, so here if I just run this particular part, I'll be getting this particular beautiful outcome, where you can see this red one is basically B class and this black one are basically A class. So obviously our linear classifier has to go somewhat like this region, right? So let us check that. So first thing I have, next what I am doing, I am creating the model. My dependent feature is class and my independent feature is x and y. Okay, just I have executed this, and if I just write model and hit enter, many properties I will be getting. Okay, now here is the concept comes, why you need to know the mathematical intuition of the algorithm which is working behind this classifier, because this one you have understood only when you know the algorithm, and then you can correlate with these parameters. Okay, lots of parameters are present, like here bias parameter, that is the b value we are directly getting here, right? In this case, this, sorry, d value we are directly getting here, but where is the beta part? Beta part we are unable to see, so just click on the properties. Here if you just go below here, you will be getting beta part. Okay, you just need to write model dot beta, you will be getting the beta value. Okay, this is basically the first and this is second coefficient. This is a coefficient of x, this is coefficient of y. Okay, right? So what I have done, I have just shown model dot beta and model dot bias is in display, and then plotting the decision line, most important part. Okay, what I am doing here, basically data dot x. Okay, obviously x axis with respect to x axis, y values we need to get, minus of model dot beta 1, see, minus of model dot beta 1 by model dot beta 2 is there, see, by model of beta 2 multiplied by data dot x. Okay, minus of model of bias by model of beta 2, see, minus of model of bias by model of beta 2, exact same mathematical equation, just I need to write. Okay, control A and evaluate selection. If I just run this whole code, okay, here I will be getting this beautiful linear classifier which perfectly classifies our these two data set, right? So you can see here the values, this is our AB values and this is basically D values for AX plus BY plus D equal to 0 linear classifier. Okay, now let's increase the difficulty level little bit. Okay, now consider one practical data set which is very important data set. Okay, this is very important practical project. One small data set I have taken which is basically giving us blood pressure and cholesterol level, and based on that whether there is a probability of heart attack will happen or not. Okay, no and yes, two classes. Okay, so what I have done here, basically same code, no need to think about anything. GScatter plotting the data set, then heart attack is my dependent variable based on blood pressure and cholesterol, and then plotting that, as simple as that. Control A, then evaluate selection. Okay, so if I just run, see, this is my red is basically yes. Okay, that is at high blood pressure and high cholesterol there is a probability of happening heart attack, right? But when the blood pressure is less and cholesterol is less, then the there is this particular class belonging to heart attack will not happen. Okay, and this is our linear classifier. You can check the values as I have used display command, so I will be getting the values here. Now the last case, obviously what? The social networking site dataset, whatever we have used in our many videos in earlier discussion. Okay, social networking ads.csv, again taken from Kaggle dataset. Then here we have already checked no null value present, but we need to do feature scaling, so we are doing feature scaling of age and salary, and based on that we need to predict whether one particular person will purchase that product or not. Again here we are also not considering the which part, the gender part. Okay, and here I am taking kernel function as linear one, right? And if you don't write linear, by default it is going to take linear only. Okay, up to this same like earlier, just what I have added here, extra pause. Okay, so these particular two lines will be executed only if I press any key from the keyboard. Okay, what I am doing, I am basically plotting the decision boundary. This extra line I need to write. Okay, again this code will also be posted in the description box. Okay, let me just run this whole code again and show you the decision boundary for our this dataset. Okay, so when we have applied visualization like this, we can clearly understand that this is my decision boundary, right? But let us again check, or basically we can say visualize using this particular inbuilt functions like beta and bias. Okay, so I will just press any key from the keyboard. Suppose I am pressing enter, see here beautifully this particular decision line came. Okay, so this is one basically our linear classifier for this particular SPM model. Okay, so I hope with these three examples you have got the clear idea how you can visualize the decision boundary for linear classifier. For non-linear classifier it will be bit twisty. You can explore more from methods documentation. They have beautifully documented the whole process. Okay, so just I wanted to show you what is the importance of knowing the math behind the algorithm. I got a comment some days earlier that I understand the math but I don't know how to apply or improve my coding part using the mathematical concept whatever we have gained. Okay, so here is the part. If you don't have, if you have no feeling about how these particular equations came, why this is linear classifier. Okay, I have shown you above the line positive, below the line negative, like this kind of feeling if you don't have, then you have to treat always these algorithms and whole code as black box only. But once you get the proper feeling of the mathematics, then you can have a good understanding of the code also, right? So this is all for my this video. Thank you for watching.